Hello everybody, Zaxter99. This video, everybody, might be the most important relationship video that I've done yet. Over the past 2 years, I've made about 20 relationship videos. Everything from having a broken heart and how to deal with it, how to move on from, heartbreak, how to know if somebody's cheating on you, how to know if somebody's gaslighting you, breadcrumbing you. There's a lot of videos that I made over the past 2 years as I became a relationship life coach back in 2020. But no video is more important than this one. I believe that this video here is talking about something that all of us tend to do at one point or another, especially if we've moved on from heartbreak too quickly in our lives. And I think that's something that a lot of us do. There's a lot of songs and stuff out there about, hey, what is that song? There's a song about the best thing that you can do is fall in love. If you find yourself between the moon and New York City, the best thing that you can do is fall in love. That song is such bullshit. While I love that song, nothing could be further from the truth. When you're lost, when you're hurt, when somebody hurts you and breaks your heart, the last thing you want to do is move on too quickly into another relationship. Self-love is so important. And when you don't love yourself, when you don't trust yourself, when you think bad things of yourself in any way, shape, or form, you need to take time to heal. And sometimes this may require professional counseling. Sometimes it just requires time. It requires standing on your own 2 feet and taking care of the things that you need to take care of. Taking care of yourself. Too many of us just move on way too quickly. We get a divorce, or we have somebody divorce us, and we're dating somebody seriously within a week or two. After being in a marriage for many, many years, or being in a long relationship for years, and then we move on too quickly and get serious about somebody new before we even give ourselves a chance to heal from the hurt. Now, even if we think that we healed while we were in that relationship, we haven't. You need to be by yourself. And this is what this video is talking about. The video obviously is titled When We Gaslight Ourselves. And it is something that can definitely happen. Again, I go back to the importance of learning to love ourselves, taking time to heal when we go through these heartbreaks that we all go through in life. Sometimes our partner dies on us or leaves us for somebody else, or they just leave because maybe they have to go to another city to work or to go to school, whatever it might be, and they decide that it's better to split paths, to go different ways, for whatever the reason. Sometimes we get closure, but most often we don't get the closure we feel like we need. And again, as I've discussed in many of my videos before, the closure that we always feel like we need when somebody breaks up with us has to come from within. And that comes with time. That comes with healing and standing on our own 2 feet and understanding that we can make it. We can thrive by ourselves and we can be happy by ourselves. And if you're not happy with who you are, if you don't genuinely believe that you love yourself, you should never be getting involved seriously with somebody new. Too many of us, I believe, go through life and we feel like, hey, I'm almost complete. I'm looking for my missing piece. And so we look for these different people that we associate with in our lives, whether it be at the club, whether it be at work, whether it be these dates that we go on, whatever it might be, maybe online. And too many of us believe that if only I could find Mr. Right, if only I could find that gal that I get along with so well and that shares my hobbies and interests. We believe that once we find that person, they're going to fill that missing piece that we feel, the void we feel inside, and they're going to make us happy. And this is a completely bullshit way of thinking. We gotta quit doing this, people. We have to take time by ourselves to learn to love ourselves and who we are. To take time to trust ourselves, to know that what we want is loving ourselves first, and then And only then should we be able to love somebody else. If we can't love ourselves, how the hell are we going to love somebody else? If we can't trust ourselves, if we can't trust our decisions, if we can't trust how we feel, how are we ever going to be able to trust somebody new? And this presents a whole new onslaught of problems when we move on too quickly. So gaslighting ourselves is definitely something we can do. It's something that typically happens when we've been hurt. We don't have to have a relationship where somebody is abusing us emotionally or physically to start not trusting ourselves. So let's say that we're in a pretty good relationship. We're not getting emotionally abused. We're not getting physically abused. There really is no abuse from our partner. But maybe they break our heart because they move on. Maybe they get a different job, or maybe they find somebody they think is better fit for them in their life. And that hurts. It hurts like hell, especially if we've been married to them or dating them for a good period of time. But when we take that and we move on too quickly and we try to heal ourselves for looking for that void that we're now missing, right? That person broke up with us. They left a big void in our heart. And what we should be doing is taking time to learn to stand on our own 2 feet, to smile again, and to be happy with who we are, and understand that we can be happy without that person. We can be happy with just us. Too many of us move on too quickly for somebody that we think is a great fit, somebody that could fill that missing void, somebody that, maybe they hug us and it feels so good to be comforted and to be held like we've never been held, the last 5 years in a relationship or whatever. It does feel good, right? And it's so easy to try to fill our void in our heart and our heartbreak with this new person. But it's the wrong thing to do. Because what happens then is we have this hurt that we haven't healed from, and then we're in this new relationship and we start to gaslight ourselves. So the most important relationship that any of us have, people, is the relationship we have with us, ourselves. It's much more important than any relationship that we have with somebody else. If we move on too quickly without having a healthy relationship with who we are, with ourselves, we could be moving into hard times with somebody new, even if they're in a good place themselves. So a lot of people may think that this is crazy by looking at the title and saying, hey, Zach, it's impossible to gaslight yourselves, because gaslighting is all about control. How could we try to control ourselves? Well, with gaslighting yourself, it's not about controlling yourself, but more downplaying or doubting your own feelings. So the number one sign, people, by far, that you're gaslighting yourselves is that you second guess yourself all the time. You don't trust your own judgment. You don't listen to your inner voice, your gut instinct. And anytime you have red flags going off or your gut instinct going off that something is bad or this person isn't the right fit for you, or that they're lying, or that maybe they're cheating, you tell yourself, oh my God, no, this person, you ignore your inner voice. You ignore your gut instinct. And sometimes you even ignore 2 + 2, common logic. When maybe your friends are like, why are you still with this person? How can you not have seen that they're obviously cheating on you? How can you go on with that? So if you have your friends and family saying, why are you still with this person? How do you not see that what they're doing right in front of you? Then this is a very big sign that you're probably gaslighting yourselves, because you're downplaying your own feelings, your own judgment, and you don't trust your own intuition. I honestly believe that your own intuition can almost never lead you wrong. Yes, there's a big difference between your own intuition and your imagination getting out of control, but your own intuition comes from a deep core within inside you. Your own imagination is something that typically happens when you set overthinking things too long. Your own intuition is like a really quick feeling. It doesn't take a lot of thought. It's like a red flag is there, you have red alarms going off immediately, and you don't have to sit and think about it. It's a gut instinct. It's there. You feel it. And if you ignore it, you're probably gaslighting yourself. You're downplaying your own intuition. You're downplaying your own best judgment. And this, people, is the number one sign that you're gaslighting yourself. The second sign that we have that we're invalidating ourselves is we make excuses for somebody else's bad behavior, for the way where they're treating us. And instead of recognizing that, hey, they're treating me bad, they're insulting me, instead we blame ourselves for that. I think a lot of us do this from time to time. So maybe somebody's mocking us in front of friends or at a party, and we feel that, like, inside we feel like, oh my god, I can't believe they're actually mocking me, they're being cruel to me or whatever. But then we dismiss our own feelings that, hey, this person is being hurtful to me, and instead we blame ourselves. Oh my god, this guy's calling me fat because I am fat, I eat too much, I'm such a pig, I pig out all the time, I need to go on a diet. If I wasn't so fat, they wouldn't be picking on me. So again, we take abusive or bad behavior of other people that maybe should even love us, and we make excuses for their toxic behavior. And we think that they're in the right to be mocking us or treating us bad. It doesn't have to be somebody picking on us or insulting us. It could be anything. It could be somebody physically abusing us or punching us in the mouth. And we say, oh my gosh, we feel initially that that's bad. They shouldn't be hitting me. But then we sit there and we overthink it, and we downplay our gut feeling and what we know is wrong. We know it's wrong if somebody hit us in the face. We never physically hurt them. We've never touched them like this, but now they punch us. And we make excuses for why they did it. Oh, they had a bad day at work. Oh, they're just really stressed. Oh, I really provoked them by dropping the eggs and spilling them. I'm such a klutz because I dropped the eggs on the ground and made a mess. I deserve to be hit. If we make excuses for somebody else's bad behavior towards us, and we downplay something that we initially know is wrong, we feel is wrong, then we are gaslighting ourselves. And going along with that is the next sign. The third sign that we're gaslighting ourselves is that we tend to always overthink everything. Anytime there's any kind of infidelity, any kind of anything kind of wrongdoing to us, by maybe our boss or our romantic partner, our husband or our wife, or anybody that we have a relationship with, our family. If we're being treated bad and somebody does something wrong to us, we get in our own head and we overthink it. And we start thinking, hey, I should have done this. I could have done this. We say to ourselves, if I wasn't such a klutz and I didn't drop the eggs, then I wouldn't have got hit. My partner would have had no reason to hit me, and everything would have been cool. So it's my fault. I should have done this. I could have done this. And if this wouldn't have happened, then I wouldn't have got treated this way. And again, we're putting blame for somebody else's actions, somebody else's wrong actions on ourselves. So this is another big sign that we're gaslighting ourselves and not treating ourselves correctly. The fourth sign, guys and gals, that we're gaslighting ourselves is that we believe that we ourselves are way too sensitive. If we feel guilty for being too sensitive, for being vulnerable in a relationship or any relationship, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Sometimes what we do is we feel guilty for being so sensitive, or for crying if we get hit, for example, or if we're called fat or made fun of or mocked or abused in any way. And this doesn't have to be a romantic partner. If we believe that we're weak because of our own feelings, because we're crying because we got punched in the jaw by our partner, because we're crying in our room because our own father called us a fatso, whatever it might be, and we start believing that we're too sensitive and we shouldn't be crying and we need to toughen up, there's another big sign that you're gaslighting yourself. Your inner core of who you are, your inner feelings, are extremely valid. And the reason, people, that we ignore these feelings in all these signs is because we don't want to face head on what's going on. We don't want to face the fact that our father is being abusive. We don't want to face the fact that our wife or our girlfriend is abusing us. We don't want to deal with it. We want to think that it's something within because it's easier. because then we don't have to stand up to whoever it is that's abusing us. And there's one more sign, people, that you're gaslighting yourselves. And I've kind of already covered it with some of these other excuses, but I believe it deserves to have its own sign. And that's when we simply make excuses for somebody else's toxic behavior. So whatever it is, we make excuses for somebody else. My dad called me a fatso just because he thinks it's funny, and he used to do it with his brothers as a kid, and it doesn't really mean anything. Why would we ever tell ourselves that? If him insulting us and whatever he's doing is bringing us to tears in our own room, how can we possibly tell ourselves it doesn't mean anything? Obviously, it does mean something. We need to learn to stand up on our own 2 feet and face the problem, face the people that are treating us wrong, instead of blaming ourselves and looking inward and gaslighting ourselves. We can gaslight ourselves in all these different ways, but usually the main thing here that we need to remember is if we are accepting somebody else's bad behavior towards us, whatever it might be, whoever it might be, our boss, could be our mother, our father, our sibling, our partner, our boyfriend or girlfriend, our wife or our husband. If we are accepting their bad behavior, them getting drunk every day and coming home and treating us like crap, and we blame ourselves and make excuses for why they do what they do, we're gaslighting ourselves. I honestly believe that some people gaslight themselves for most of their life. This is why we see ladies in domestic violence relationships where they have black eyes all the time, and they accept somebody beating them for an entire lifetime and never leave. Why? Why would they ever accept this? We wonder, why would this person never leave somebody who beats them and gives them black eyes all the time and treats them this way? I know that most of us have seen this in somebody. We've met somebody in a relationship and we can see the abuse, or they tell us about the abuse, and we wonder, why don't you just leave? You've been with this person for 10 years, you've been with this person for 20 or 30 years. Why have you not left? We think they're crazy. Like, why are you doing this? Why? Probably because they're gaslighting themselves. And they've probably been gaslighting themselves for the entire time. They've been shifting the blame from whoever's abusing them and blaming themselves instead. And that's why they stay. They believe that they deserve everything that they've been getting, that they can't do any better. And that's definitely a sign that somebody's gaslighting themselves. And this is why I say this video is vitally important. I think that many of us have gaslighted ourselves, maybe not constantly, and I think most of us know when it's time to bail from an abusive relationship, but some of us can get so caught up in gaslighting our own selves that we allow ourselves to stay in a toxic relationship for a lifetime or for way too long. People, we need to get out of these abusive situations first and foremost. And then, once we're out of them, and if you need to get help, I'm going to have the domestic violence hotline number down below. I'll also have a link where you can find the number if you're not here in America, where you can get help. So these numbers that are down below are completely free, completely confidential, and these people are paid experts who help you in your situation. They're there to listen to you. So please use them if you need them. But it's important that we do get out of these abusive relationships first and foremost. We get in a safe place where we're physically away from the abuse, where we're not talking to the abuser on text, on phone call, on voice, or any way. We're making no contact with these people ever again. And then it's vital that we take time to heal. A lot of times it just takes enough time standing on our own 2 feet and learning that we can be happy by ourselves. Other times, especially in extremely abusive relationships, it's probably going to take some therapy and counseling. So please understand this. Guys, gals, we definitely can gaslight ourselves, and when we do, this is what keeps us in these abusive relationships and keeps us unhappy in our life. I hope this video has helped you guys. Please reach out to somebody that loves you, somebody that you know cares, or to one of the numbers down below if you believe you've been gaslighting yourselves from watching this video. This has been Zaxter99. Love you guys all. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.